Hey there and welcome to GamePoints, our weekly little get-together. We talk about the past week in gaming news. I am your host, Stephen Brown, and today is no one joining me. David Smith was currently occupied with something else and he couldn't show up today, unfortunately. But I am still here because consistency is somewhat important, and I do try to at least be offering something every Monday here at 8 p.m. If you are watching us live on Twitch, we do stream every Monday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here at Twitch TV/GamePoints. If you're tuning into YouTube, video usually goes up Monday night before Wednesday morning, sometime within that time frame. Either way, if you happen to be watching us live or watching us on YouTube, please feel free to join in the chat. If you're live, we try to get to you if we can. If not, like, comment, subscribe, and do all that stuff down below, and we try to respond to you whenever we can. This is GamePoints episode 90. We are getting close to 100. I don't think I'll be doing anything special for it, but hey, it's kind of nice to hit that milestone. Got E3 coming up in a month or so, too, so that's going to be really fun. No witty banter, or witty, I should say, at the start. Let's go ahead and get right into the news since I have no one to bounce off, and let's talk about the fact that Red Dead Redemption 2 has been delayed until next year. On the official Rockstar blog right here, Red Dead Redemption 2 is now coming spring 2018. It is set to launch on PlayStation 4 and Xbox, and they say that they are very sorry for this disappointment that this delay causes, but we are firm believers in delivering a game only when it is ready. We are really excited to bring you more details about the game in the summer. Rockstar is one of the few companies that has enough goodwill where they can go, just take as much time as you need. This thing could be 2020 for all people care. They know it's going to be good. Collectively, a sigh of relief is being breathed right now from every game developer and publisher that had anything planned for fall. Now that we know that this is getting delayed, you can expect a flood of release dates coming out, things that that other developers and publishers probably didn't even have locked down, or at least were going to be flexible on until they knew that this game was going to be coming out this year. Because no one wants to release it, not even your big guys like Call of Duty or Battlefield or anything like that. It's just suicide to go up against a Rockstar game like Red Dead Redemption 2 or even worse, Grand Theft Auto. That said, anyone who is eyeballing to release the first or second quarter of 2018 is probably not doing too well right now, and they're having to rush to move things around. My gut says Red Dead Redemption 2 will probably be March of next year, but we'll see. Now, we didn't know that this delay was coming. A lot of people thought it might be, but Rockstar is also big enough to kind of just go, our game is coming out in 3 months, and people will buy it. It doesn't really need a marketing lead-up. So we really didn't know for certain, though if they didn't announce anything by the time E3 came and went, a show Rockstar traditionally doesn't do, then we'd probably know something was up with it, and it sounds like they're just saying, hey, it's been delayed. So, yeah, that's that. I'm not really too concerned about it getting delayed. Take your time with it, guys. I'm sure Red Dead Redemption 2 will be fantastic when it comes out. Of course, we won't know until we play it, but they have a pretty good track record with this stuff. Nothing really too much more to go into that. It was just a quick little blurb I wanted to mention since it was announced only a couple hours before the show went live. But yeah, Red Dead 2 delayed till next year. Next topic, and we're going to go blah, 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 so I lose the ability to talk. Next topic is we're going to go into the details of Destiny 2. Bungie released over Twitch a big Destiny stream revealing a lot of the details behind it. They had some gameplay, which you're seeing right here. Spoilers, by the way, the first mission is the assault on the tower. Apparently the Red Legion, which are a group of Cabal, they're the monkey Centurion, Roman Centurion guard looking guys here, have laid siege to the tower and the city. Notice that is capital T. If you have not played Destiny, there's only one human city left, and there is the tower in the middle of the city, and essentially drive you out. They drive out all the Guardians. They drain the Traveler of all of its light, and everyone loses their powers because you can't have a sequel having you start off as powerful as you was by the end of the first one. So that is how this is going to play out. It definitely looks more story-focused than the first one was, which is good. One of the biggest complaints I had about the first one was that the story was just absolutely lackluster. I'm glad to see that they are going a little bit more cinematic with some of these cutscenes here that you're seeing. It looks fun. I'm kind of getting hard into the Destiny 2 train. I played the first one for about 6 months or so before I stopped. But this looks solid. It looks fun. It looks entertaining. And it looks like they're going to fix all the problems that I had with the first one. Now, we do have more information than that just coming out here right now. For example, the Crucible's coming back. It's going to be, that's their PvP mode. It's going to be 4v4 instead of 6v6. Don't like the fact that they took away 2 players on each side on there. It feels, I don't know, it feels reductive. I don't like the fact that they're taking stuff away, even though 4v4 could be better. We don't know until actually get a hold of it. It is going to be on PC as well this time around, and while the launch date of Destiny 2 for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and presumably Scorpio when that comes out, is September 8th, there is no official word on a PC release date. Keep in mind, a lot of people are saying, oh, that means it's going to be a couple months afterwards or a couple weeks. You know, it could be the day it comes out. They're working on it right now, which is why they don't want to give it an exact release date. In my mind, that's what they're doing anyways. I would say you're going to wait no more than 2 or 3 weeks for get the PC version, though that does sound to be the preferred version because it is going to be running at 60 frames a second unlocked. So it's going to start at 60 and go up from there. It's going to have FOV sliders and just all the graphical tweaks, remappable keyboard keys, all that good stuff, chat functionality. One thing to mention with Destiny being on PC is that it is going to use Blizzard's Battle.net service, the same client that World of Warcraft, StarCraft, Hearthstone, Heroes of Storm, all that uses. It's going to use the same thing that's currently in Destiny. That Destiny 2 is going to use the same social setup that's in all that. So people can talk between each other cross game. It's very interesting that you're seeing a non-Blizzard game use Battle.net, but remember, Blizzard and Activision are one company, so it makes sense. This is essentially Activision throwing their hat into the ring as a digital content platform along the lines of Steam or Origin for EA or GOG. And it's weird because we never really thought about that, or at least I never really thought about that for Blizzard. But Battle.net is nothing more than Steam, just exclusively for Blizzard games. Well, you can now expect Activision to be using that for all of their games. I wouldn't be surprised if we were to see the next Call of Duty, maybe not this year, but next year's Call of Duty get put on there, for example. They're going to use this as a test to see how it runs and go from there. We'll definitely see how that works out. A couple other points I want to mention, especially if you're PC focused. There will not be dedicated servers. Blizzard will be providing server support for the social functions and chat features, and the servers for the game itself will be run by Activision. Now, I know a lot of old school PC players hate the fact that when dedicated servers aren't the game. They want to be able to have those options at their leisure. But let's face it, the age of a dedicated server is dead. Sorry, guys. Most companies don't want it anymore. Most companies don't need it. It sucks, but this is one of those things that we can't go out on a hill and die for. We just have to accept the fact that this is not, it's passe now. It's obsolete. People don't do dedicated servers anymore for the most part. It sucks, but it's really not a fight I'm here to have. But yeah, that's more or less it as far as just the brief overview of what was revealed. A whole bunch of gameplay is out, as you're seeing right now. My headphone just cat out on me, but I don't think I need it to go on. Sorry about that. I heard the beep, and that was my headphone shutting off. But yeah, it's looking promising. I'm looking forward to it. It should be out on console September 8th. PC soon to come after that. We'll see how it shakes out. As you can see, you can find a whole bunch of gameplay and story trailers out right now. I just want to kind of give a quick overview on what it was. Also in the news last week, Far Cry 5 got teased. Now, Far Cry 5, there were some rumors about it possibly being set in Montana, and it might be a Western. Well, this little teaser trailer, that's the word I'm looking for, kind of clears things up just a little bit. As you can see, it is set live action. It's only about 40 seconds long. Shots of Montana, but we don't know what time period it is yet. However, it becomes quickly established from this dude running the fields. it's modern day. You can see silos back there. You see the church of power lines and everything back in the background. This is going to be set in modern day. I think that kind of kills the Western theory to bed, which was always kind of half-cocked. That was a rumor someone hopped on and started going off, and it just kind of escalated from there. But we did know something was being set in Montana. And, well, this is it. Far Cry 5 will have full details May 26, 2017, which is the end of this week. I'm sure there'll be a gameplay trailer and full reveal about what the idea is. However, if you think of Montana, big, wide open spaces, mountainous, forests, you have some more traditional Americans, I guess you can say, living out there, and I would assume the game revolves around those groups. But more information will be coming later this week. We really don't have much official to go on yet. Next topic, while we're dealing with Ubisoft, and that is the South Park, the Fractured But Whole game actually has a release date finally for October 17th on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. They announced that along with this trailer that you're seeing here. If you played The Stick of Truth, I thought it was one of the best games that came out that year, actually. It's a surprisingly funny video game, which I know is kind of weird to say because when you think of humorous video games, they tend not to be all that good. But not only was The Stick of Truth essentially watching a extremely long episode of South Park and very satisfying in that way, it was a solid RPG on top of that. It wasn't doing anything revolutionary, but it definitely sold itself well. The game was fun, and I've been looking forward to this one. They're ditching the fantasy Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones style theme for the superhero influx that we've had recently. Clearly a bunch of DC and Marvel puns with all the heroes on here. And from what I understand, it picks up like the next week. So, I mean, not that the plot really has anything to do with South Park or the South Park game or anything like that, but good to know that probably we make a lot of references to the old game on there. But yes, this will be coming out on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC October 17th. Looking forward to it. I had a blast with the first one. I'm sure this one will be just as entertaining. All right, what else do we have coming up? Oh yeah. Let's talk about this wargaming situation. So, full disclosure up front. I have never once touched World of Tanks or World of Warships or anything that Wargaming Net has done. In fact, I wouldn't even have been interested in this community at all if it wasn't for the response of what happened between a community manager and a content creator, an independent content creator called SirFoch. SirFoch. Hey, Beesrees, how's it going on? It is just me today. David could not join us, unfortunately. You love World of Tanks. Awesome. You probably know about it than I do. I'm more interested in this controversy that happened as opposed to the game itself. From what we can tell, this content creator by the name of SirFoch created a video highly critical of the game World of Tanks and a couple changes they've been making, specifically involving this one tank that you had to buy with real world money, and it was extremely overpowered compared to everything else at the moment, and it was leading to allegations of World of Tanks going pay to win. This was not the first allegation of that. These have been steadily building over a while, and the guy who is an official content creator for World of Tanks, he does get tickets to go to Tank Fest and all their conventions and early access to information, put out this video that was him saying, fuck off, Wargaming, this is fucking stupid, and I'm going to call you out on it. Well, that didn't go over well. In this, what looks to be Discord chat right here, you can see SirFoch there speaking with a community manager from Wargaming.net, essentially saying, hey, take the video down, man. It's going to kill our relationship. Have to remove you from the contributor program and also from the list of Tank Fest invites. To his credit says, cool, do whatever you want, but the video is staying. What caused the problem is that he followed it up right here of saying, it's up to you, but in that case, we will have to go through YouTube and issue a takedown with a copyright strike. If you do this, you won't be able to monetize any wargaming content in the future, so I strongly suggest you removing the video. You can't do this, wargaming.net. You can't. Criticism is not copyright infringement. You can't take down a video just because you don't like it. It doesn't work that way. Just because this video was mean to you and called you out on what they assumed they thought was bad behavior, and they were saying, hey, you're going pay to win, fucking stop it. That is a valid criticism, and you can't wield the DMCA like a hammer to silence criticism for shit that you don't like. Sorry, it does not work that way. Now, if you want a more detailed idea of exactly what went down here, I'm going to direct you to go take a look at Jim Sterling's video he released earlier today. It really breaks it down way more than I'm willing to get into it, because like I said, World of Tanks is a game that I'm not all that into. I know very little about, admittedly. But what I do know is that you can't fucking threaten people's channels with copyright strikes because you didn't like what they had to say about you. That is fucked up. That is something that you absolutely can't do. And that is not the Second Amendment Beesweave, it's the First Amendment. It's a bad Beesweaves. And it's not really even a First Amendment problem right here, but they do have to understand what the fuck fair use is, and this falls under it. Sorry guys, you might not like it, but that's how it rolls out. Now, in Wargaming's defense, they did follow up over the weekend with this post right here from the head of community management, saying that we at Wargaming have further reviewed the incident last Friday involving SirFoch and his Chrysler KGF rant video, and we believe we could have handled the situation better. No shit, guys, you threatened to take down his channel. We strongly support our players, including our community contributors, right to speak critically about us and our games. At the same time, in the case of our community contributors, we ask that negative comments be made in a respectful, constructive manner, and SirFoch's video didn't do that. Okay, fair enough. The dude was an ass to you guys. So what? You can be an ass on the internet. Sorry. That's just the way it goes. You don't get to fucking hammer them with a DMCA takedown notice. In turn, we acted too quickly when we threatened to have YouTube remove his video through a copyright infringement complaint. We have apologized for making that threat, and we're continuing the conversation with him on the next steps. Cool. I'm glad you guys kind of acknowledge your mistake. There is another layer to this story. I'm a little reluctant to get into it because I don't know the full details, but apparently there was also another statement released that hinted that SirFoch, I think that's his name, SirFoch, was putting up videos that were homophobic and filled with hate speech. And from what people can tell, none of that exists. That is slander. Guys, that is a problem. And you have not apologized for that. If, in fact, this is real. This is all alleged. I do not know if that is the case. But if that is the case, that is another degree of fucked up. Once again, I do suggest you take a look at Jim Sterling's video. I'll be sure to post the link down below. I'm going to go ahead and pop it into chat as well so people can watch. Let me make sure this is the right video. Yeah, so if you're also looking in chat, Beeswees, for example, I know you're in there, and if you want to watch that Jim Sterling video, there's the link. And let me know what you think down in the comments below. It's a bad situation all around, and something that we need to realize is that, or companies need to realize, is that when you go out of your way and you threaten people with copyright strikes, the exact opposite effect happens. This is the Streisand effect. We all know what it is. I wouldn't have heard about this controversy if it wasn't for the fact that they tried to silence the criticism. Originally, a handful of people might have seen it, but now that you've done this, you fucked up, and it's a story, and even shitty little shows like mine are talking about it when I don't think I've even played the game to begin with. So stop doing it, guys. Fuck. It's simple as that. Criticism exists. It can be very mean. It can be spiteful. It can be hate-filled. This guy's video was clearly on the ranty side of things, just like mine are, for the most part. Filled with saying, fuck you, Wargamming, and you're fucking shit, and this is bullshit, and you need to fucking change. Okay, cool. Guess what? He gets to do that. Now, what you are fully in your rights to do, Wargamming, is take away his status as an official content creator. You can absolutely do that. No one's arguing that. What they're arguing is how you handled it by attacking his channel. So I'm glad to see you guys backed up on that. As far as the racist, hate speech, homophobic thing, don't have enough information on that. Sorry, guys, if you're coming into it for that. I just don't know how far that one goes down. If they did say that, and if in fact his channel has none of that on there, that's really fucked up, and that is slander at that point. But neither here nor there, and it's not something I feel comfortable in talking about. SirFoch is what Beesweave is saying in chat. Sir with a dot folk. It could be. I wish I knew who this guy was. I don't, unfortunately. I'm just reporting what I have heard / read. So from one controversy that actually means something to another that means absolutely nothing whatsoever. Let's talk about Mario Kart 8's odd bit of censorship and why we have to pick and choose our battles, guys. So this story comes via GameStop, and the story says the following. Inkling Girl's animation has been tweaked to remove a gesture that is deemed offensive in a number of countries. The expression, which involves raising a clenched fist while the other arm holds the raised bicep, was used by Inkling Girl as a celebratory sign. Let me go ahead and bring up this picture right here. This right here. She's essentially doing this right here. We all know what that is. We've all seen it before. It's common, right? Well, apparently this quote-unquote Italian salute is considered offensive in some territories, including France, Spain, Italy, Portugal, and much of Latin America. So they removed it. As you can see in this picture right here, they kind of just like digitally cropped out her left arm there. Or is it her right arm? Her left arm there from doing that. And she's now just doing a fist pump thing. Okay, yeah, this is fucking stupid. I don't like the I'm offended, so take something out bullshit either. But guys, this is so fucking minor in light of so many other censorship battles that we could be fighting. I can't really bring myself to hop on the fuck Nintendo, they should be banned. There are far more egregious things we need to worry about. I will say this, however, it's good to know that Rosie the Riveter is also apparently an offensive image in some of these other countries, because this is a fucking classic sign. Now, there's also the claim of, oh, we need to be respectful for countries all across the world, and we need to have a respect for other cultures. But if that's the case, then give them the peace sign. This means up yours. This is this in England. And there's all sorts of weird shit like that everywhere. Beeswees, I agree. Suck it up. I doubt no one even noticed. I highly doubt many people fucking noticed. They kind of equivalent to what if like the Waluigi pulled in with the power slide as he did the finish line and just went. Would that cause some eyebrows raised? Yeah, okay, because that's kind of what the equivalent of that is. This one, it's just, I don't care enough on this one to get too fired up about it, right? Yeah, censorship sucks. I fucking hate it when they change for things for localization too. It's all fucking stupid, but there are much better hills to die on than this one, guys. Let us not be upset over this one. Let's just look at that and go, okay, that's stupid. We don't need to hammer every single controversy into the ground. And I'm with you guys mostly. I am absolutely against it when they alter things out for sexuality in America, when they cover up extra bits of skin, or when they localize things differently because they feel that joke won't go over well in America because it might be considered racist or anything like that. I understand the outrage to that stuff. I get it, and I am somewhat on your guys' side. My opinion on that stuff is, if it was so offensive that Americans would be pissed off about it, don't fucking translate it to begin with. It shouldn't be over here. But that's neither here nor there, and that is really not this one's about. This is one of those things that I do look at, and I know it might be a bit hypocritical, and I try not to be hypocritical on this thing, but I just do not care much about this one, guys. Sorry. Fight the good fight somewhere else and just let this one go, because it does not seem worth your time. And that does it for the hardcore game news, but we have two more stories I want to round out with, and both of them actually deal with television or movies. First one, The Witcher is coming to Netflix. Now, this is via IGN. Let me go ahead and bring that up right here. Netflix produced The Witcher TV series. Writer Andrzej Sapkowski will serve as creative consultant. Sapkowski is the author behind the Witcher books. He is the guy who created the character River of Geralt. Plagiarism issues aside with Eric, apparently, but well, that's neither here nor there. And he is going to be serving as the creative consultant on the series, saying, quote, I'm thrilled that Netflix will be doing an adaptation. Let me start over again. I'm thrilled that Netflix will be doing an adaptation of my stories, staying true to the source material and the themes that I've spent over 30 years of writing. Cool. I don't know if I'm really all that excited for a Witcher TV series. I love the video games. 1, 2, and 3 I think were all fun. 3 admittedly did have some glitches here and there and was... I don't want to say it was way too long, but that world had a lot of pointless side quests and fetch quests in it. But I don't know if we need a TV show based on this guy. In fact, they've already done a TV show. It was called The Hexer, I believe. It was a European joint. It was really silly. Like, think Hercules and Xena from the 90s kind of style. It had that same production budget to it, and it wasn't very good. It'll be interesting what Netflix can do with it. We have no idea what specific stories they're going to pick to run with, and if it's going to take place during the books or take place after the books like the video games do or before, if it's going to be its own separate thing that really doesn't follow the books, kind of like what Game of Thrones has turned into. Nor do we know casting or when it's coming out or anything like that. We just know that they're making it. So we'll see how it shakes out. I am glad to see Netflix is doing it. I kind of hope they go with a hard R because The Witcher needs that hard R because, let's face it, sex is a big theme to The Witcher. And if you get rid of that, you are actually cutting out a good chunk of what it is. So you need to have Geralt fucking everything that moves. That's just what his character is. And you can't really do that watered down. Sorry. Not only that, but it is a violent, dark fantasy universe. I mean, it is fucking brutal to live in that world. And they need to be able to express that. So we'll see if this is going to be any good. I just am not all that excited about it. Something else, movie-wise, I'm not excited for either, is that Tom Holland has been cast to play a young Nathan Drake in the updated Uncharted movie. Now, this story is coming via Deadline. Let's see if I can get the webpage to load here. There we go. Uncharted Reconfigured. Spider-Man Homecoming's Tom Holland to play young Nathan Drake for Sean Levy. Sony Pictures is bullish enough on its upcoming Spider-Man Homecoming star Tom Holland that the studio is doubling down on the young actor by building a second major franchise around him. Holland is attaching to star in Uncharted in what will be redrafted as a prequel to the treasure hunting action storyline in the Naughty Dog video game for PlayStation. Sean Levy is the director. He's the guy that directed all the Night at the Museum movies. And apparently, as the movie is going to take inspiration from the part in the third movie where you see a younger Drake's first encounter with Sully. No idea on who's playing Sully yet. As far as I can tell, I heard that it might be Tom Hardy, but I'm not seeing that anywhere. So as far as I know, take that as a complete and total rumor. I'm just not excited about this either. But I will say, thank fucking Christ, it's not what originally this movie was going to be. If I recall, 7 or 8 years ago when the idea for this movie was getting tossed around, it was going to be... Oh, fuck. Short guy, Goodfellas. Not Danny DeVito. Joe Pesci. It was supposed to be Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro as antiquities dealers in New York, trying to uncover something along the lines of the National Treasure movies. And I saw that. I was like, no, that's not fucking Uncharted. Stop that. This seems to be a little bit closer to source material, but I still don't think we need it. That said, if they were going to do this, a prequel makes sense. There is a lot of untold time between the first game and when Sully and Drake first met. So there's a lot of stories they can build off of that won't really impact the lore of the later games. Sure, if you're going to do this, at least this is the way that seems to be the least egregious. So I hope it works out for you guys. I'm not hoping for a bad movie. I just don't care. That's just how it is. Anyways, all that stuff is much farther down the line. So if you want something to do this week, let's take a look at new releases for the week of May 22nd to 2017. This week, as we slowly ramp up to E3, the big rush of video games is slowing down. I'm going to talk about a few of the major ones, in quotes, coming out this week. First off, Samurai Warriors Spirit of Sonata on the PlayStation 4 and PC. It is a Musu game spinoff running on the Samurai Warriors 4 engine. I have been playing for the past week or so. I'm doing the review for GameCritics.com on this one. It is a Musu game. Let's face it, it's not going to have the massive cast of characters that the typical Samurai Dynasty Warriors have, because it is focusing on the Sonata family, and it is their story throughout the years. So don't expect to have multiple characters. I mean, you have multiple characters in the game, but don't expect to have multiple stories being told. It is very heavily focused on this one family. It looks dated, unfortunately. It's not as pretty as Dynasty Warriors 8 is. It's using the Samurai Warriors 4 engine, which I want to say is about 5 years old now, maybe 4. But it's fun if you like the Musu games. They definitely went a more RPG route with this one. You can do extra side stuff. You know what? This actually might be embargoed until tomorrow, so I don't want to get too detailed on it. I probably shouldn't have said any of that now that I think about it. Anyways, that's coming out tomorrow. Also coming out this week, Friday the 13th, the game on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. This is the asymmetric horror game where one person plays Jason Voorhees and the others play helpless teenagers running for their lives. This is Dead by Daylight with a Friday the 13th skin. I'm sure that it will have its fans. I just feel that this has been filled already by Dead by Daylight. I don't see anything great coming from this game. I don't think it's going to do well personally, but it does look fun. You can check it out later this week. Also coming out is Rime on the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Rime is that game that had some development issues. Apparently, this is the one that Sony took their dev kits back. I could have sworn we mentioned this was coming out last week, but my notes say it's coming out this week, so I could be wrong on that. Also, rounding out the week is Disgaea 5 Complete on the Nintendo Switch. It's Disgaea 5 with all the DLC wrapped up into one package on the Switch. I mean, if you like Disgaea, you'll probably want to pick this up. Disgaea is a game that makes perfect sense on the go. And I think that's going to wrap it up for the bigger releases this week. Beyond that, no topic of the week this week, because clearly I don't have someone to bounce stuff off of. So I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I know it is roughly 20 minutes earlier than we normally do, but it is what it is when there's only one of us in here. So if you... I can't remember where I was going. Anyways, this has been GamePoints episode 90. Thank you for watching us. We do stream every Monday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here at Twitch TV/GamePoints. If you do happen to join us live, please join the chat. Feel free to talk, comment, beeswees. Once again, thank you for showing up. I always appreciate knowing that there's someone on the other end here. Ask questions. I'll try to get to when we can. If you're watching us on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff below. Once again, if you're on Twitch, give us a follow too. I'd appreciate it. If you want to follow the show on Twitter, you can do so at GamePoints PC. If you want to follow me personally, you can do so at CapitalistPig21. And that's that. This has been GamePoints episode 90. Thank you for watching, and until next week, we are out of here.